we're looking at all week. Hopefully you've covered how to defend and escape, back control, side control, and mount. Are we agreed? Yeah, you at least covered one of those things. All right. Let's look at that again. Just recap a little bit what I did on Thursday, and also show you some new drills to do. There we go. Not Lucas this time. So Lucas has got back control. So you'll agree this is actually do the other way around. There we go. You'll agree this is the worst case scenario for me. He has really good back control. He's got both hooks in, and he's square onto me. That means I have given him the optimum fighting position. All right. So he has. If it was no gi, he would have the rear naked choke attacks. Since it's gi, he's got collar style things, and later on there's arm bars and all sorts of other things you can do from there. All right. So my job in the scheme of things, because when you're sparring, you kind of get a sense that you're losing position and he's going to take your back, is to not give him this optimum position. So the theme today is really about killing the proper back take. The positions I'm looking for really is anything that is not square on. A good position I'm looking for is where I'm rotating away, and thus taking the shoulder line away from him. Okay, and if you want to get more technical, we were looking on Thursday in this running man position here, and the strangles are really not really there for him unless he follows me around. So if I didn't grab his leg and he follows me the hip line around, we would get a better attachment to my collar line, see? So if I can turn here and step across, especially if I can get rid of that top line here, it's harder for him to follow around because I'm grabbing his leg here. You see, he wants to follow me around, so grabbing this is nice. That's number one. Another two is if I can avoid the seatbelt, I can go into my hawking position. Okay, this is not escaping yet, but I'm not giving him what he wants, which is optimum back control. And the third, that's the second one. And the third one is if I can sink low down. If I can sink low down, he has no access to my attacks, and I can start my escape. So every one of those three positions reduces his chances of attacking me, which makes my chances easier. So we're going to look at one setup, very common. We're going to look at a couple of examples where he's trying to get the back. And in fact, we did one for warm-up. So we'll do it here. Which is the sleeve drag. So sleeve drag, nice and slow. Here. That's right, he comes around. Whether he jumps over or he pulls my back round, back down to ground, he's getting my back. Okay? Like that. Is everyone familiar with that technique? Who hands up if you don't know that technique? Because you're going to need to know it to drill it. No? Everyone knows it. Okay. So one thing that we can do is know, as I'm exposing my back game battle, rather than try and fight to reposition, which is quite hard with this arm position here, and later on as he rotates around, it's even harder to square up. See, I can't. You can try it yourself. I can't try and square up. You might as well give your back. Now that might sound tactically naive, but if I actually give my back here and grab his leg, okay, in this sort of running man position, spin around so you can see, as he tries to follow up with the back take, what have you got, Lucas? Not a lot. Also, I'm wary that he could reach around and grab my collar, so I'm protecting here. I'm maybe hiding my neck. And look, I mean, this is a really sort of exaggerated position, where the target he wants is so far away from him. And then to finally escape from here, well, there's a number of options. Simplest one is to just step over, maybe invert, turn, and we're fighting here. I said simple, that probably wasn't simple. Anyway, let's look at that again. So this is your drill. He does a sleeve drag here, and the normal course of action is to either rotate his hip line around me, rotate the hip line, or drag me down here like that, so I'm exposing my back, see, in this position. We want to avoid that, and the way to avoid it is to capture his leg. As we capture a leg, we are exposing our back, and we have to guard against his arms going around. So I put my head on the ground here, okay? Just take this off. So reach around, but he needs to move his hips to finish completely Exercise, move that here. Look, it's just really hard for him to get anything. All I'm doing is holding his thigh here. You can use 2 hands if you want. Okay? A simple way to escape. Here. Find that underhook. Here. Step over. And complete your escape. I'll leave that up to you. You get the idea though. We're stopping his rotation from the simple arm slide drag. All right, give it a go. Partner with someone who knows the technique, at least the attack technique, and we're taking them there. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Another common way that someone would get your back is if they pass my guard. So, borrow Lucas again. So you're standing here. They pass my guard and I turn away, and I don't turn away properly. And it's a matter of he secures the seatbelt, steps into the chair sit, and he's got my back. We drill this a lot as a drill, and to varying degrees of success. But basically, if you just stay where you are, if you turn away like square on, like this, you're basically giving them your back. Okay, it's pretty obvious. So what I've learned recently, following Preet's tutorials, is to turn, and if you're going to turn, go to running man, which if you went to Chris's seminar, he taught that on. And what that does, it doesn't give him anything. So he passes my guard, and I'm in running man. And it doesn't really give you, try the chair sit again. And when he steps over for the chair sit, which he won't do, but if he, he just, I mean, can't even pull me back. But if he does step his leg over, he gives me an out. And I'm not, although I'm technically exposing my back, I'm in such a stable position he can't pull me back. And if he goes too much that way, I'll, throw him there. And there's nothing here. So we're going to try running man, just stay where you are. And the drill is, you're going to put your feet up, they're going to pass your guard, and you're going to elect to turtle. It's not really a turtle, I guess you could argue it's a half turtle. But we're here, remember to pop that elbow past your hip line. As Chris says, put your nipple to the ground, turn your head, look to the ground, crunch your neck in to avoid underhooks. If anything does come in, you can catch. But essentially keep that closed, keep the doors closed. Okay. It doesn't matter. Ideally, you want to bring the knee down here, because with the knee up, one temptation is they'll pick it up and try and change your position from it, even though you can resist that. Okay, that is a problem. So you drop that down, and we're here, and it's a very robust position. And then ultimately, you want to escape from there, which is another lesson. Just follow the work, like going to turtle, back to hawking, shrimping, inverting, that sort of thing. But go to running man and just try it a couple of reps. Okay, 1, 2, 3, let's go. Just a summary, the whole concept is about not giving that nice square on back position. Bear in mind, although we train where we're sitting like that, in reality, you tend to flop to one side or the other. But regardless, if the person has both hooks in, nice seatbelt grip, and their shoulders are aligned with yours, and their head tucks in nicely, it's very hard to escape. So we want to deny that opportunity before he gets to that perfect optimum position. Another common way to that they get back is from mount. I guess we could argue that you shouldn't really be in mount, but that's another story. I'll borrow Grant for this one. So he's got mount. And a common escape from the mount is, if you just let your arms go, so thank you. A common escape from the mount is the elbow escape. The elbow escape being step over, putting our elbows in, and we're just doing that. And then we elbow escape out, etc., etc. I should precede that with the hip placement. That's usually a good thing. Hip control here. But what you find is when you do that, so just really put your weight down. That's it. It's very hard to get that escape going. And then you realize everything's hard when they put their weight down. And actually, it does him a favor, because he can take his time and do cross-collar chokes and that sort of thing. But more usually they just get head control like this, which is really super annoying. So we have to worry about how we got here in the first place, and I don't know, let's do it from side control. Let's assume he's in side control and he just puts the knee on Betlin. I haven't got time to do my running man, okay? And as he puts the knee across, slides, there's a moment where I have a little bit of freedom. So as he assumes full mount, I just tilt my hip here. If you take your arm away so they can see. And then now, this is a new thing, Josh and I were talking about this the other week. Normally I would crunch from here into hawking, but I didn't find that very successful. And I've since learned that the baby bridge is actually stronger. Now this is counterproductive because you're exposing your neck and everything here. But the baby bridge allows you to do the step over much easier. And even just putting your hand here on one hip is enough. And I'm baby bridging away. Okay, and Grant's going to stop me from getting this. Okay, that's part one. Now we're going to turn here, and we're just going to maybe do a knee shove. So what the lesson here, basically I want to show you is the baby bridge. By the way, without a person, a baby bridge is, this is hawking, this is baby bridge. There's no difference in my arm position except for my back arching baby bridge. So your partner's going to start from side control, they're going to slide the knee up, and as soon as he confirms his mount position, we're going to just do baby bridge, which is here. I'm just switching my hips, and I'm arching back. And I'm just guarding, I'm not pushing him away, I'm just guarding here. Don't put your elbow past, because then he definitely has the back. We're just guarding here. I'm hiding my elbow here, and I'm arching back. And it's very, with that leg wide, it's very hard, it doesn't feel right, does it?
No.
So in fact, what happens is, as I step over, he switches to my back control here. So he wants to take the back, that's fine. And at this point, I switch to hawking, okay? And then he doesn't know what to do. Maybe he carries on taking the back, maybe he tries to get him out, but either way, he's off me. And then from here, it's a matter of escaping here, regarding, or if he wants to take mount again, I've still got this. So you have a couple of options there. I hope I explained that well properly. The main thing to take away is the baby bridge. And when you step over, he doesn't feel that is right to carry on mount, so he'll switch to use technical mount and take the back. And actually the weight is off you, and that's actually easier to escape than. Does that make sense? Yeah? Give it a go, I'll come around and help you anyway. That's the last one I wanted to show today. All right, 1, 2, 3.